Hi, I'm the Grow Boss. This is Garden Science, and this video is about ppms. This is my perfect ppm worksheet, and today we're going to go over how to figure out how many ppms you need for whichever week you're in. Now, you will have to answer a couple of questions for me, like how much light you have, how healthy are your plants, in your life cycle, what week are you in, how full is your garden. We'll do a little bit of math, and then you'll know exactly how many ppms you need for whichever week you're in. I'm the Grow Boss. This is Garden Science. Stay with me. What's the number one problem that comes through my store? Too many nutrients. Look at all these nutrients you have to choose from. That's why before you get started, you should pick up a copy of my Grow Book and my No More Grow More flashcards. That way you won't burn your plants with too many nutrients. You can pick it up at your local hydroponics store or from my website, thegrowboss.com. Alright, so first I'm going to do one all the way through for you, and then we'll discuss the individual parts and pieces of this. So let's start right here at the beginning with light watts. How much light do you have? Do you have a 1,000-watt light with a light mover? Okay, so you got 1,250 watts. That's great. How healthy are your plants? Do your plants have bugs? Do they have leaf problems? Is there too much light? Did you have a root problem? I'm going to say no this time. My plants are 100% healthy. Alright, let's talk life cycle. 4 weeks in veg, 8 weeks in flower. Let's say I'm in hydro. So that's 4 plus 12 minus 2. Life cycle's 10 weeks. Just to keep it easy, I'm going to say I'm in week 10, right? So I'm just about finishing. Just about getting ready to finish. Alright, plant watts. How full is my garden? Well, I'm just coming up on finishing, so my garden better be about 100% full. Alright, so let's take a look at the math now. Current week, 10 light watts, 1250 life cycle, 10. 1250 divided by 10 is 125. 10 times 125 is 1250 ppms. Alright, if I got 1250 ppms and my plant is 100% healthy, then all of my ppms are going to come from nutrients. Now, how many supplements do I need? Well, if I have 1250 ppm and my plants were less than healthy, I would subtract that number, but I don't need any supplements in this example. Now, foliar feed, I won't need any foliar feeding because my plants are 100% healthy. Alright, yield. Now, yield, I'd have 1250 watts. My plant health is 100%, and my garden is 100% full. So I should expect 1250 of whatever, and 1250 flowers. And so that's the idea of how to use this perfect ppm schedule. Now let's talk about the individual aspects. Give me a sec and I'll be right back. If you liked my video, you'll love my book, The Grow Book and Equipment Guide. Everything you need to know to grow, guaranteed. You've got questions? This book has answers. You've got problems? This book has solutions. Everything you need to know to grow. Watch my videos, buy my books, always shop local. Okay, so let's talk about the individual components like light watts, plant health. Let's talk about this side of the equation and what the individual things mean. So I'm of the opinion that the photosynthesis equation is light, water, CO2 equals sugar and oxygen. Nutrients don't exist. They're just kind of the calories that support the amount of exercise the plant does. So how much exercise is the plant doing? Well, if you've got a 1,000-watt light, the only way to increase that yield without buying another bulb is adding a light mover or CO2. You can't add more water. And remember, it's light, water, CO2 equals sugar and oxygen. So you can't overwater your plants, so you're really just left with light and CO2. The more light, the more CO2 you have, the more you're going to get. Now let's talk about plant health. Now if you've got bugs, a leaf problem, if you put the light too close or overwater and rotted the roots, you should expect significantly less, right? Because you have to have a 100% healthy plant if you expect 100% yield. Now life cycle. The reason we subtract for systems is something simple. It takes 3 weeks to finish in media. It takes 2 weeks to finish in hydro or aeroponics. And so this subtraction right here accounts for finishing. That's why on this side of the equation, you can see as long as the current week is less than or equal to the life cycle. If I was in week 11 and the life cycle was 10, then I would be finishing and ppms would be falling. All right, plant watts. If you finish a 1,000-watt light with a half-full garden, because a 1,000-watt, remember, requires a 5x5x2 space to grow 1.5 pounds, And so if you've got a 4x4 space, or a 3x3 space, or a 4x4 space that's only 1 foot deep, you've got a half full garden. Now you can't expect 100% yield from a half full garden full of 6 shitty plants. And so that's kind of the idea. When you look at yield, yield is based on 3 things: how much light you have, light, CO2, and a light mover, how healthy your plants are, because if you've got 6 shitty plants, you shouldn't expect a full yield, and how full your garden is. Because again, if you've got 6 shitty plants, a half full garden, you shouldn't expect that much. All right, give me 1 sec, I'll be right back, and we'll do this one more time. For all I know, you could be watching this video sitting there taking a deuce. Don't you wish you had my No More Grow More Fat cards to read? There's 90 cards, so there's plenty in there for a couple of deuces. Pick up a set at your local hydro store or from my website, thegrowboss.com. Okay, so let me do a run through now of a more realistic example of a customer that might come through my store. They might come in with a leaf problem or some other problem, and I'd start my questions. First thing I start with is, how much light do you have in flower? Oh my God, Grow Boss, I got 1,000 watts. Do you have a light mover or CO2? Yeah, I bought CO2 from you and a light mover because I had lots of money. So I'd be like, oh, okay, so you got 1,500 watts worth of light. Perfect. All right, so do you have any problems with your plants? Because you probably read my book and you just did just what I said. It's super easy. Oh yeah, except for some stuff I read on the internet. So what I did was I watered every day and I fed every day. So I have lots of problems. So they're going to be like a 50% healthy garden, right? And so let's just keep the math kind of simple again. So I would ask them what kind of veg and flower they have. Yeah, I got 400 watts in veg, and we veg for 4 weeks, and then we flower for 8 weeks, and I'm in hydro. And yeah, and I didn't listen to anything you said. So we know that the life is 10, and this is 10 as well. 4 plus 8 minus 2 is 10. They're in week 10, and we'll just call it like that for easy math. And then, of course, the question is, all right, so if you've got, if you need a 5x5 by 2 feet space deep, how full is your garden? Oh, we're in a 4x4 tent, Grow Boss, and it's like half full. Oh, so you have like 16 cubic feet instead of 50 cubic feet. I understand. So your garden is like 25% full. All right, let's just do some math here. Current week, 10. Light watts, 1,500. Life cycle, 10. So they should be at 1,500 ppm. So your total ppm is 1,500. Your garden is 50% healthy. You should have 750 ppm coming from supplements this time. Half of your nutrients should be supplements. Things like calcium, magnesium, silica, maybe just nitrogen specifically to fix a nitrogen problem, something like that. All right, so if you've got supplements, so we got 1,500 ppm minus 750 for nutrients. And so our supplements, sorry, that was the nutrient line. So our supplements will be 750 ppm too. So half of our nutrients will be supplements. And then we do the same thing here for foliar feeding. 750 times half, that'd be 375 ppm. And if you notice, it says between ppm between 50 and 350. So don't use less than 50, don't use more than 350. So even though this says 375, we're still only going to spray with 350. You don't want to oversalt the plant. All right, and then let's talk yield now. So they've got 1,500 light watts. But my plants are only 50% healthy, Grow Boss. All right, and then your garden's only 25% full. So that's 750, and 1/4 of that's like 175. 175, and so you can see you should expect, instead of 1,500 grams, you're going to get 175 grams. And that's because your dumbass didn't listen when I told you, don't overfeed, don't put the plants too close, don't do those things, don't put the lights too close, and all of a sudden you won't end up with this problem. You'll have a 100% healthy garden. Your garden will be 100% full, and now you'll have a full garden of healthy plants, and all you have to do is just plug in whichever week you're in here and here, just figure out those two things, how much light you have. I'm the Grow Boss, and that's the perfect ppm calculator. You can pick up a copy at your local store in the Grow Book Mini, and if there's anything else I can do, you can hit me up my email, thegrowboss.com. That's my website, or my email, thegrowboss@yahoo. Good day. Look at all these nutrients we sell. There's a lot to choose from. They all work, but it can seem confusing, especially if you're new. That's why, before you get started, you should pick up a copy of my grow book and my No More Grow More fact cards. Everything you need to know to grow to get started and use nutrients like these. You can get them at your local hydroponic store or from my website, thegrowboss.com.